The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke, Kevin Price, and Robbie Ross. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Robbie Ross on 912 Sports with the Ross Report, and looking back at the penultimate week of high school football regular season. There were some big games and some games that decided playoff races and set up region championship games for this coming week that Sean and KP will talk about moving forward as we hear on a Thursday night. First off, Charlton over Clinch. They have paved their way for a region championship, winning that rivalry game 33-28. It was Appling County over Tattnall County, 28-14. Appling in the driver's seat in their region for a region championship. Brooks County over Bacon County, 49-0. It was Brunswick over Evans, clinching a spot in the de facto 2-6A region championship game this week over Evans, 28-7. Coffee punches their ticket to the de facto region championship game in 5A over Greenbrier, 48-0. Effingham did their job, and they will face Brunswick for the Region 2-6A championship on Friday night over Lakeside, 27-7. Frederica Academy, they are looking to win a region championship this Friday night as they beat Pinewood, 42-20. Liberty County over Beach, 39-7. It was Calvary over Long, 48-0. McIntosh County Academy, one of the earliest clinchers of a region in the 912. They clinched a couple of weeks ago. They won over Portal 33-6. Burke County over New Hampstead, 37-27. It was Pierce over Vidalia, 42-12. Lowndes over Richmond Hill, 35-3. They clinch a playoff spot. Winning that one. South Effingham over Grovetown, 19-14. Ware County all over Statesboro, setting up the region championship game against Coffee. They beat the Blue Devils 59-7. And Toombs over Windsor Forest, 41-0. Coming up next after the break, 912 Sports publisher Sean Smoke will have a report on the Burke County-Wayne County game from this past Monday night. So going to have an exciting final week of the regular season coming up. This has been the Ross Report on 912 Sports.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports. It was Monday Night Football on the 912 once again, courtesy of Hurricane Ian, on Halloween, no doubt. And the Yellow Jacket faithful were dressed up and ready for action. Wayne hosted Burke in a top 10 matchup with a home playoff game on the line for Region 3 4A. It was tough sledding for both offenses all night long as the defenses had the upper hand most of the game. But with plays like this first down run, the Yellow Jackets took a 10-0 lead into the locker room at halftime. The scoring took a complete 180 in the second half, with Burke scoring 10 unanswered points. This is a game-tying field goal with 8 seconds left on the clock that forced an overtime. In overtime, it took Wayne 3 plays to score and kick an extra point, taking a 17-10 lead. When Burke took over, they scored on their first play, making it 16-17, and lined up for the extra point. But Wayne called a timeout to discuss a block strategy. When the two teams came back on the field, they ran their offense back out there and elected to go for 2. But the Wayne defense was too strong. They dropped the Burke County running back for a loss, solidifying the 17-16 victory. The win moved the Yellow Jackets to second place in Region 3 4A, and they will host the first-round state playoff game next Friday at JC Stadium in Jessup. On a sad note, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Burke County head coach Eric Parker suffered a medical episode on the sidelines and was airlifted to St. Joseph's Hospital in Savannah. Here at 912 Sports, our thoughts and prayers are with Coach Eric Parker, his family, his friends, the Burke County football team, and the entire Burke County community. Get well soon, Coach.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm good, Sean. Great to be here with you, talking high school football, final Friday night of the regular season, and I tell
how
you
can
what,
that be?
that is incredible. That's for sure. It seems like it's really flown by. But I tell you what, Sean, as I was looking at these games, I can't wait for tomorrow night. This is one of those nights, Sean, where you kind of wish you could be in more than one place, or certainly be in a studio with a bunch of TV monitors on all of these games, because region championships at stake, as we'll see as we go through this. Playoff seedings at stake. It's going to be an exciting night of high school football here in Southeast Georgia. These are the kind of nights that we all look forward to when we start getting geeked up about high school football season starting way back in August. These are the kind of nights that we all get hyped up about.
Exactly. And we're going to start off, Kevin, with the 912 Sports Game of the Week. It's Ware County at Coffee County. This, like I said, this is a game that's been circled since when the schedules came out. Coffee and Ware's had a long-time rivalry ever since back when I was in high school. I mean, it always seems like it comes down to these two schools, and that's exactly what's on the line is a region championship this Friday night over in Douglas, Georgia. But this Ware County comes in ranked number 1. Coffee's ranked in the top 5, depending on which poll you look at. They're as high as 3 and 5 in some. So this is going to be a grand, just a fantastic high school football game. Like I said, it's kind of one of those, what is it, the immovable object versus irresistible force because Coffee wants to run the ball. Ware County stops the run really good. So something's got to give at Jordan Stadium on Friday night.
Well, you kind of stole my words. I'll probably use that something has to give as well. And that's kind of was in sort of part of my prepared speech here. But Sean, obviously both of these teams, with 8 wins, both 4-0 in the region. And I look back at the recent history of this and talk about rankings. I mean, there's hardly a year that's gone by in the last 7, 8, 9 years where at least one of these teams weren't ranked in the top 10. And most years, both of them have been ranked. And, of course, going back to 2021, last year, Ware, I think, was 6th and Coffee was 4th. Going back to 2020, Ware was 1 and Coffee was 6th. And, of course, this year, as you've already alluded to, depending on what poll you looked at, but the one I looked at, of course, Ware is number 1, Coffee is number 4. So a top 5 matchup for sure. And you hit on it. I mean, both of these defenses, Sean, are awesome. I mean, you can't hardly move a yard against these two teams. And Ware County has held 5 of their 8 opponents to single digits. And only one team, which was Bainbridge, I believe, has scored 16 points against them. That's the most they've given up. I think I'm right about that. They're giving up an average of just over a touchdown and an extra point a game, 7.13 points a game. And when you look at Coffee, not much difference. 5 of their 9 opponents have been held to single digits, so they're giving up like 9.4 points a game. So this is where I say, like you did, something has to give here Friday night. This could be a close game, a knockdown, drag-out fight. Probably going to come down to the fourth quarter. 2 or 3 plays might make a difference. And it's one of those games, Sean, if you get a short field off a turnover or a big play in special teams, you better take advantage of it because these two teams are hard to move the ball against, period, much less going 70, 80, 90 yards at a time. So it's going to be another dogfight between these two teams. And like you say, region championship at stake and the number 1 seed. And it's going to be a good one over there in Douglas.
Yeah, and it'll be an electric atmosphere over there in that stadium, Kevin. Both teams will pack the house. It'll be a great environment for a high school football game Friday night. So if you're a neutral fan, you're looking for a game to go see, this one you might want to put on your list here. But we'll move right along, Kevin. We've got Appleton going to travel down to to Brantley County. Appleton looking to, lock that number 1 seed down and go into the playoffs as the number 1 seed from that region. Bacon's going to travel to Irwin. Tough deal there for Bacon. Had to play Brooks last week. Got beat 48-0. Now you got to go play Irwin. Oh, appreciate that, Mr. Schedule Maker. Bradwell is going to go to Greenbrier, Kevin. Somebody's going to win a football game.
That's
You've
right.
got 2 teams that are sitting there at 0-9. Somebody's got to win. So we'll see which one of those guys can pull it out. And then the big one Friday night between the Bricks, Kevin. This game is another region championship. Effingham comes into the contest undefeated in the region. Brunswick comes into the contest undefeated in the region. And, should be a great, great high school football game there in 6A.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, a region championship on the line, number 1 seed, which, of course, is huge because it gets you at home in the first round of the state playoffs and the second round. And when you look at this thing, Sean, Effingham 7-2. They've won 7 straight after a slow start. They were having trouble scoring early in the season, lost their first 2 ball games, but they've since, found their offense and hit their gear under Coach Ford there in his second year, and they're right back where they were last year in this final game, playing Brunswick with the region championship on the line. Then when you look at Brunswick, Coach Grady just took the pirate ship and continued to keep it sailing forward. And here they are, 9-0. Both teams 5-0 in the region. Brunswick ranked 8th in the state. A lot of subplots here for the Pirates, Sean. They've won, 9 games, of course. They've won 21 straight in the regular season, going back to last year's 10-0 regular season. Then they won the final 2 games of the 2020 regular season. So if they can win this one, they'll have a chance to win 22 in a row, and then, of course, complete their second straight unbeaten season and win a region championship for the second straight year. And when you look at this, both teams really good on the defensive side of the football. Brunswick giving up just right under 12 points a game. Effingham giving up just over 13. Brunswick with a little more explosiveness on offense, if you will. They've been scoring all year long. They come in averaging just right at 37 points a game to Effingham's 26. But again, Brunswick with a real solid run game, big playmakers at receiver. Effingham may not have the explosiveness that Brunswick has, but certainly they're solid on that side of football. They have a playmaker at quarterback who's a dual threat, Nate Haynes, and I saw him against Glenn Academy. He can really dominate a game with his arm or his leg, so Brunswick's going to face another quarterback that they kind of have to keep hemmed up. But if I'm looking for an X factor in this game, something that might make the difference, I would lean to believe that maybe Brunswick's big play ability might be the difference in this one. Otherwise, it could be a game that goes deep into the fourth quarter as well. But I think Brunswick might just have a little more big play ability, and that might give them a slight edge in this ball game.
Yeah, and like I said, Brunswick's got so many weapons, Kevin. I mean, you got receivers, you got running backs. You never know where the scoring is going to come from with them. So a lot for, Effingham's defense to have to try to hem up. But going to be a great one there between the Bricks on Friday night. And again, another region championship on the line. Moving right along, right on down the road, Kevin, down 9-5 a little bit. Lowndes County comes calling on Camden County. Camden with a 2 spot on the line in that region. Colquitt's already got the region championship locked up there in Region 1-7A, but Camden can get a home playoff game in the first round. So a lot to play for the Wildcats. Lowndes sitting there fighting for the playoff life, but really going to be a super good 7A game there in Camden County this Friday night. And Camden coming off that big win over Valdosta the last time they were there. So like I said, good things going on for the Cats right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Camden set themselves up in great position in this last game of the regular season with that win over Valdosta 2 weeks ago. I kind of felt like, going into the year that Camden would beat either Valdosta or Lowndes, and they've got a chance to beat both of them right here at Chris Gilman Stadium. And, of course, if Camden does it because they beat Valdosta already, they're in position to be a number 2 seed and be at home. And what a big opportunity this is for Camden to go ahead and, on the heels of that Valdosta win, to knock out this opportunity and be at home in the playoffs in year 2 of Jeff Herring in his second stint there. But, Lowndes may be a little bit down by their standards. They're 5-4 overall, 1-2 in the region. Camden 6-3, 2-1. When you look at comparative scores, Lowndes beat Richmond Hill 35-3 last week. Camden beat Richmond Hill 21-14. Lowndes lost to Valdosta 13-6. Camden beat Valdosta 17-14. Both lost to Colquitt pretty big. Lowndes lost 42-14. Camden lost 49-21. 2 games that those stand out. Lowndes beat Grayson in the middle of the season 24-14 when Grayson was 4-0 and ranked 2nd in the state. And Grayson hasn't lost since. They've won 4 more games. Excuse me. And the game that stands out for me with Camden outside of the region is that Brunswick game in week 2. Even though they lost, it was 16-10. Camden had the ball deep in Brunswick territory. One of Brunswick's best linebackers, Lionel Twitty, knocks down a pass that saves the game for the Pirates. Otherwise, Camden scores, probably kicks the extra point and wins the ball game. So, again, Camden showed you what they were potentially made of in that ball game. So, I don't know what gives here either, Sean, but I kind of like Camden for a few reasons. Number one, they've had 2 weeks, and I believe in Jeff Herring, and I think Camden gets it done.
Yeah, going to be a great one in a Chris Gilman Stadium down there in Camden County this Friday night. So we'll keep tuned into that one. But moving right along, Charlton's going to go over to Lanier. If Charlton can get this one, they are going to be region champs after that big win over Clinch County last week. So congratulations to the Indians. Clinch is going to be open, so they're just sitting there waiting for their playoff opponent with 2 weeks to prepare. St. Andrews got to travel to Frederica. Frederica coming off another big win. Looks like they're in a position there to win that region there. So congratulations to the Knights. And then another one, Kevin, for Glen Academy. Glen Academy's got to go on the road, make that long trail up there to Augusta to take on Lakeside Evans. But Glen is definitely in from that 6A region. So congratulations to Coach Hidalgo. I mean, what is this, Kevin? He's been there for how many years now and made the playoffs every year?
This is year number 9 for him. He started in 2014, so they will be making their 9th consecutive trip to the playoffs under Coach Rock.
Yeah, so pretty impressive there. So congratulations. But, hey, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back here and review the rest of the games here in the 912 for 11:04. But you're watching On Air with 912 Sports. Stick around. We'll be right back after these messages.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
Welcome back, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, joined by Kevin Price. And Kevin, we'll get back into the rest of the games here for 11:04, and we'll start with Jeff Davis at Sumter. Jeff Davis looking for that one win, Kevin. If they can get this one, they will win one game this season. If not, they're going to go winless on the 2022 season. Liberty's got to travel over to Savannah Christian. Liberty already cemented herself in the playoffs there, along with Savannah Christian. So Liberty, with that big win over Long, put themselves into the state playoffs, and that's going to bring us to Long at Johnson of Savannah. And Kevin, this is a winner moves into the playoffs, loser goes home. This is actually for the 4 seed out of that region. I think you've got Calvary Day, Savannah Christian, and Liberty in those 1, 2, 3 spots, and then the winner of this Long County Johnson of Savannah game will be the 4 spot. And really, I thought Long was going to be on the outside looking in here, Kevin, but Johnson of Savannah lost last week to Savannah Country Day, which is kind of, you wouldn't have thought that. You would have thought Johnson of Savannah would have won that game. They wound up losing 29-6 because Long handled Savannah Country Day pretty much earlier in the season. And then, of course, Long lost to Calvary Day 48-0, but nobody's surprised by that. Calvary Day, one of the best teams in 3A. But again, so it kind of opened up the door for Long here. So we'll see what Coach Feaster and his bunch can do.
Yeah, some of these other games we talked about, I mean, they are high-stakes games, don't get me wrong. Number 1 seeds, region championships on the line. So there's hardware and letter jacket patches and all that kind of good stuff on the line there. But there is a tomorrow.
Right.
In this game, there's nothing guaranteed, if you lose. You pack up the equipment and, look forward to the off-season conditioning program and basketball for the kids that play round ball. But so this is literally a win or go home. And, Long County, has been stuck on that 5-win mark now, Sean, for a couple of weeks, and it would be nice to see them get win number 6, and kind of get over that, that 500 hump. But same thing for Johnson. I looked it up, and they have not won 6 games since the year 2000 when they went 6-4. And now they did make the playoffs the last 2 years, but they did so with losing records and lost in the first round. But this is a team that's Johnson team that's got some life. They're a little bit better than probably they were those last 2 years. And they might feel like, hey, if we get into the playoffs, they got a better chance maybe of at least winning, even though they're going to be up against the number 1 seed, which, puts them behind the 8 ball right out the gate. But, both of these teams are going to be jacked up. It's going to be in Savannah. So that puts Long County, behind the 8 ball going in. But I would like to think that Long County is going to get physical with these guys. Try to play smash mouth football and see if they can smash the Atom Smashers one good time.
Yeah, and then hand that ball off to Amari Douglas and let him do his thing because, he's been running wild. He's one of the top rushers in 3A right now. So that's exactly what I'd do. I'd get on my horse and ride with him and see what could come up. But again, Kevin, a big important game there for Long County this Friday night over in Savannah. But moving right along, again, congratulations to MCA. They are region champs in their region. They are open this week, so they'll get ready to host a playoff game next week. And then that brings us to Pierce at Tatnall. And, Kevin, this region is one of those regions where, man, everything is still just like scrambled eggs in a pot, man. You don't really know, what's going on. We do know that Appleton, with a win over Brantley, is going to be number 1. I think even with the loss over Brantley, they're going to be the number 1 seed. Pierce with a win could be the number 2 seed, but if Pierce loses, they could fall down to 3. We think we've got it figured out where Tatnall could win. They could be a 2 or they could be a 4. It's really going to come down, if it gets to that situation, it's going to come down to what happens between Vidalia and Toombs, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But a big game, and Tatnall's a very physical football team. Pierce is going to have their hands full up there as they travel up to take on the Battle Creek Warriors.
Yeah, no question. Tatnall here, with a big opportunity to possibly finish second. Pierce not accustomed to finishing second, but still would be big for them to go ahead and get that second seed and get it home as long as they can. But when you're looking at comparative scores, of course, Pierce lost to Appling about a month ago, 28-17. Just last week, Tatnall lost to Appling 28-14. So they kind of held their own, I guess, if you will, with the ultimate region champion there. But we all know that Pierce is pretty solid on both sides of the ball, and they're only giving up a little more than 14 points a game. But when you look at Tatnall, their defense has been solid all year long as well. Excuse me, they're only giving up, like 16 points a game. So I'm quite certain both of these teams are going to try to impose their will on the other guy. But, Pierce always has a big X factor, and that guy's named Bell on the back of his jersey. And anytime you have him in your offensive backfield, you've got a chance. And I tell you what, Sean, this would be a huge, huge win for Tatnall. There's no question about it. If they could get this win over Pierce and go 1-1 against the 2 big dogs in the region and get a home game in the state playoffs in the first round. But I tell you what, Pierce kind of seemed to have a hangover for a little bit after that loss to Appling. But last week they went out and played a really good game, I think, against Vidalia, which is a solid football team. We'll talk about them again here in a moment, like you said. But it could be big for Pierce to go ahead and establish themselves with a convincing performance against another pretty good football team going into the playoffs as well. So this is still a pretty important game for Pierce, not only to get that number 2 seed, but to kind of get their mojo back, I think.
Exactly. Well, home playoff game on the line in Reedsville this Friday night for sure. So we'll see who can come away with that one. Colquitt's going to travel to Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill, unfortunately, just playing out the season. They'll be done after Friday night. Colquitt, I think they're still ranked number 2. Not real sure why, but one of the better teams in the state. South Effingham is going to travel down to Evans. Again, I think this is just basically playing out the string here. For South Effingham. Statesboro's got to travel to Jenkins. This, Kevin, is actually a playoff
implication game. I think the winner's going to be 3, the loser's going to be 4. So both of these guys are in, but it's just going to be a seeding situation there for Statesboro and Jenkins on Friday night. And then we get to the one that we previously mentioned, Vidalia at Toombs, Kevin. And this basically, not only is it a city championship type of game where you're 6 miles apart or whatever, you go to church together, you eat at the restaurants together, but this is an elimination game. If you do not win Friday night, you get to take up costumes on Monday morning because your season is over. So a huge game this year. It's going to be at Toombs in the pit, so the Bulldogs with a little bit of an advantage there. But man, what a great high school football game Friday night there in Vidalia. In Lyons.
Sean, did they play for a Vidalia Sweet Onion or anything like that in this?
I'm not sure what the trophy is over there, but they've got to be some kind of city championship kind of deal. So,
yeah, I would like to get me a big old thing of onion rings and sit in the stands and watch this one. But when you look at the numbers, they're comparable. Obviously, both teams have 3 losses in the region, and you mentioned this being an elimination game because somebody's going to get their 4th loss, and that's going to leave them on the outside looking in. And then whoever wins is in. And then it depends on what happens with Tatnall in terms of a tiebreaker situation, possibly with one of these teams. Toombs beat Tatnall, right? I think I'm not confusing myself on that. So if they were to end up in a tie, Toombs would have a head-to-head tiebreaker, but Vidalia lost to Tatnall. So Vidalia would be in, but they would be lower than Tatnall in the seedings. But when you look at this game, Sean, the numbers are very comparable. Toombs is scoring just under 27 points a game. Vidalia is scoring right at 29. Toombs is giving up 16 points a game. Vidalia is giving up 15. Both teams kind of limping into this thing just a little bit down to finish. Toombs, late in the season lost to Brantley, Appling, and Pierce, but came back and beat Windsor Forest. Vidalia's had a tough road here late in the season, losing to both Appling and Pierce, and now here they are facing their rival in the final game of the season. So both of these teams have to be excited about the opportunity to win a ball game here against the big arch enemy and possibly punch their ticket to the playoffs at the same time. Again, what gives, Sean? If I had a coin right now, I'd flip it, and whatever side it landed on, that's probably who I'd go with, and you'd probably take the other team and feel pretty good about it. So this is just one of those games where 4, 5, 6 plays might decide it. A big 3rd down conversion, a big play on special teams, a turnover, something. But again, it's going to be a dog-eat-dog kind of deal. Emotions are going to be involved, and it could very well be an exciting finish. I think a lot of these games have certainly been close in recent years. I think Toombs won at home last year, 21-19. Vidalia won at home 2 years ago, 39-36. Back in 2019, Vidalia won at Toombs 17-14. So a lot of close games in the recent history of this series. And based on the numbers, it looks like it's going to be a field goal type game again.
Yeah, these games count almost like playoff baseball. Every pitch counts in this game right here. Every play is going to count. And like I said, one little mistake, a muff punt, a missed field goal, all that stuff can come back to bite you in the end. So going to be a good one there in the pit there Friday night in Lyons with Vidalia takes on Toombs. And the last team is Wayne County. Congratulations to Wayne County locking down that 2 seed earlier this week, beating Burke County. But Wayne will be open as they await their playoff foe here in 2 weeks. But that's going to wrap it up for the previews for 11:04. Appreciate everybody watching, but we'll be right back here with more On Air with 912 Sports right after these messages.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.